right, folks. I signed off already, but I know nobody's watching, so everybody's waiting for Mel. So uh, I'm going to fill in for him for a little bit. He's tied up right now. Uh, so yeah. Hey, Dennis. And Jim, everybody. Mel's tied up at the moment. Not physically, but he's going to be late. He'd announced that he would be. He just called me, and so I'm going to fill in for him on my live stream for just a little bit until he gets on, and then he's running. Uh, uh, yeah, guys, I appreciate what I need to do. Hey, Steve Mack, we're back. Yeah, I'm filling in for Mel right at the moment because he thought he was going to be able to get parked and everything. He'd called me earlier, and that's why I didn't say anything. He said he might be able to do it a little different, but he went to 2 truck stops and he couldn't get parked for anything. So I told him, and he just called me, and I said, well, I'll just pop a live stream back up and start talking to you guys again, and so because he's really wanting to get it set up. Yeah, and give me a second here because like I said, I'm throwing this together. So uh, let me see if I can get to my own channel so I can watch my channel. There we go. All right, there we go. Now I can see Dennis Lovelady, Steve Carpenter, Help at Home. There we go. Now I can see Dennis Lovelady. I got to mute that. I don't need to see myself twice. It's bad enough seeing myself once. But anyways, yeah. Uh, yeah, I can't get enough of you guys. That's it. Now, what anyways, uh, Mel's tied up. He's climbing up the hill right now. He said he's going to be a little bit later than he thought, and I said, well, I'll just. He's still planning on having his guest. Hopefully, that'll work out for him because he's going to have the guy from Carolina Drones on there to give a lot of information about these 2 new Mavics that's come out. You know me, I've already said it. If you weren't here the first earlier, I know nothing about these birds. I know that I push a button here, I push a button there, I grab hold of them 2 little joysticks, I keep my other fingers crossed, and I try and fly it. And so far, I haven't crashed. But anyways, let's see. You had to lay some eggs. Yeah, guys, I appreciate you coming over here. Like I said, I just can you guys hear me? Okay, is it still coming through good? All right, good. Yeah, I got this mic. Mama Vlogger got it for me a long time ago, and I even forgot I had it. And it happened to be sitting out, and it was the first one I grabbed because the mic that I got from Jim works really good, except it's still packed. I haven't unpacked everything from coming back from the cabin yesterday evening. I was tired, and uh, I got these fancy type of headsets too. I don't know why I've actually got them on because I can't hear anything with them, but they're like those professionals use, and put them over my ears and uh, all of that stuff. Makes me look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. And I got to take my glasses off. There we go. But anyways, uh, you just have the Mavic Pro. So who all out there is getting a one of the Mavic 2s? Just say yes or no. I've asked this earlier, but I didn't. Uh, I know most everybody either already has a Phantom 4 or a Spark or a Mavic Air. Let's see. No, you don't have one, Steve. Just got it Tuesday. Dennis, I expect to see some really good video footage from you. Uh, you lucky son of a gun. But you know, it's like I said. I really don't. Uh, as a vlogger, uh, you already have the Mavic Pro. I can understand, and that's like me. I've got the Mavic Air, and I couldn't be happier with it. I forgot who it was. Uh, yeah, yeah. Uh, I I was talking to somebody the other day, and I forgot who it was, and I mentioned on their they did a review, and I think it might have been uh, Bo Lorenz. I can never pronounce his name right, and anyways, he did an unboxing, and I really enjoyed the way he did it. You know, he did it. You know, he picked, like he was honest about it. He says, they gave me two props, not as that they gave him one full set, one full set of four, and then just two extra props. That was it. And he said, what you couldn't throw in for this kind of money, you couldn't throw in for an extra couple of props. Come on, so he was honest, and that's the kind of stuff. And I'm not going to sit here and review the Mavic 2 Pro or the Zoom or any of the others because I've got a Mavic Air and that's all I know. I've got a Spark. I love the Spark. Man, that was a really and I gave it to Judy. And unfortunately, she hasn't been able to fly it much. Well, actually, she hasn't been able to fly it at all because she just hasn't been feeling good. That's one of the reasons we're back. I should have got a fresh can of pop in between sets, but uh, anyways, like I said, I'm just doing this second stream just strictly uh, I'm just doing the second stream uh, tonight to kind of cover for Mel because he got stuck in Los Angeles traffic. He called me before I went on the first time, and he he got he said I think he said he had like 26 miles to go, but the traffic was traveling at 2 miles an hour. So it was a long way because he said he called me a little bit ago. And I said, well, I'll just pop on here and keep everybody company for a little bit until he gets set up. And he went to two different places to park, and they were so full up he couldn't get parked. He couldn't even get stopped long enough to set up a stream on his uh, on his uh, Yeah, Steve Carpenter. Welcome to California, Mel. Yeah, and he may be watching this too. I know he had it on his phone up on like I do. He had his set up there or on something where he could watch it streaming. So he was watching, but he said when he started going in and out of those valleys, he started losing signal. But anyway, so uh, yeah, I probably do need to. Uh, Actually, I think I will, guys. If you can hang on, chat amongst yourselves, it'll take me about 30 seconds. Run in and get me another soda pop, uh, or as they say in the South, get me a Coca Cola. It's actually Mountain Dew, but everything's Coca Cola down here. So I'll be right back, guys. Just give me 1 second. Just talk amongst yourselves, and you can talk about me if you want. I'll read about it later. You need some help, dear? put a covering for Mel until he gets parked. Sorry about that, gentlemen, but I'm back. I needed who all's on here? I got to look now. Well, we got hey, Mark, you're on here. Nothing new and exciting, that's for sure. uh, now, Mark, there was some news this last week, and for those of you that didn't see my earlier one, you missed me so much. Yeah, it's like I wasn't even gone, right? uh, but anyways, for those of you that didn't see earlier, I wanted to let you know. One, I think I caught a cold coming back home, and two, uh, how can we miss you if you won't go away? You know, I get that a lot from people. You'd be surprised. But I don't know if you guys heard it in the news, but DJI just announced that they're selling 2 new drones. Yep. It's called the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro. And that's the exciting news of the week. Other than that, I ain't got anything else to talk about, and I don't know anything about them. So, other than what, no point in me talking about them. Everybody else has talked. Yeah, yeah. Okay. One is cheaper than the other. The Zoom is less. And Dennis, being you have, uh, the rain will begin around 8:22, continuing on. Oh, great, we're going to have rain. I'm glad I'm here instead of at the cabin, because I then wouldn't have a signal at all. But Dennis, being you have got uh, the Pro, and Mark, Aussie Mark, welcome to my show. If I meant to say that, I appreciate you dropping in. As I said, I'm covering for Mel until he can get parked and set up. He got stuck. He had to make a delivery to downtown L.A. in that big rig of his, and so he was unable to get his stream set up. So he went to 2 different truck stops and couldn't find a place to park, but he knows he can get where he's going next. So he called me after I shut my stream down. Set this over here where I can reach it. But so he's supposed to be having. If you're wondering what I'm doing, the live stream pops up here, but it doesn't stay up. Unlike this, I can watch the live. I can watch the live stream. Yeah, basically, you're right. You're right, Jim. You can get the $1,200 model or the $1,400 model, and the difference is one has a bigger, fancier looking lens by Hasselblad, who I got to admit, back in they made without a doubt. I knew quite a bit about the old film type 35 millimeter and stuff, and they made the best medium format, which was your, I don't know, 6x6 or something like that. I can't remember what they're 4x6. They were the bigger pictures. I think they used it used to be called 120 film or something like that. It was medium format. It's a little bit bigger, 110. No, it was. I can't remember now. It's been so long, but Hasselblad made the best cameras there were. I mean, their glass was just unbelievable. And of course, DJI bought shares in it so they could put it on there. But if somebody would care to comment in the comments, what's the difference between the two? Because to me, I would think having the zoom to be able to zoom in on something without having to fly that close would be better. And if they're going to make a more expensive one, why didn't they add all the features that are in the zoom plus the 1-inch sensor? So, uh, uh, yeah, Steve, you're right. 2x2 film. Yeah, it's what they call the medium format. I think that's what it was. And matter of fact, I've got an old Kev Russian camera that still uses that. Yeah, I think the zoom option would be better simply because, and I haven't watched enough videos because they're all over the place, and some people are just carrying on and on and on about this, that, and another thing, and it's just like my eyes just kind of glaze over, and I just like, huh? That's the look I get. Well, I have that look most of the time, anyways. And, when my wife asks me something, I go, huh? But, anyways, I'm just filling time, guys. I'm just filling time. I'm waiting for somebody who really knows what they're doing with this live stream to come on. Uh, looks like Demon Seed just came on, but yeah, it's old roll 120 film. That's why I was thinking it was the 120. Let's see. Dennis says differences are in the cameras only. All else is the same. I will do my zooming in post. I may wish someday that I'd gotten the zoom model, but it is what it is. I wanted a better camera, and I can see that if you're going to spend that kind of money, and the difference between an average camera, because if the only difference in the if the zoom camera is basically the same thing as on the Mavic Pro now, or say on the Mavic Air, then there's no point of spending the money on buying a zoom, other than the fact it zooms. I mean, and like you said, you could do that in production anyways. I've done that even on my Mavic Air. Zoomed in on stuff. You're shooting in 4K, you can, or even in the 2K, you can zoom in very easily. Uh, Hang on a second. Da 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 dee 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 dee. There we go. I'm just learning some things here. I'm learning I can do some stuff. Yeah, let's see. There you go. Tank RC. The Tank RC. You're doing well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just filling in for Mel right now. My other show was. I'm still going to. For those of you that weren't on my earlier stream, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you anyways. This when I came home from the cabin, there was a big box, or a good sized box, one big enough for this to fit in, sitting there on my counter. My son had collected our mail, and I opened it up, and there was a very, very nice letter. And what this is a case. I don't know if you can see that. This is a case for a Mavic Pro, okay? And it even has uh, the Mavic Pro landing gears. Am I holding that up right? Yeah. It's backwards to me. I hope you guys are seeing it the right way because it's backwards to me. But anyways, and it comes with, it's got nice, good foam padding. It'll hold your batteries. It, it, it is a nice case. Now, the guy who sent it to me was Steve Mack, and he said he wanted to do something to give back to the community. And it's, you can see I mean, this camera is really lousy today for some reason. Usually shoots better than this, but it's a doggone nice camera or case, and it's only been opened long enough to show you guys. I'll put it back in its plastic bag and pack it back up. But Steve Carpenter wanted to give back to the community. So here's what when I talked to somebody earlier about it, and then I talked to you guys that were on here earlier. And so here's the deal: I'm at 177 in subscribers. When I hit 200, I'll make an announcement, and I'll run a live stream, and then whoever is on that live stream will do a I'll do a have one of the moderators. Uh, I'll have one of the moderators do the look at the the count, and I'll come up with something. It's either just going to be by how many people are on there, and I'll divide it, and I'll do something like, Alexa, give me a number between 1 and 15.
Your random number between 1 and 15 is 5.
See, in case you don't know it, I have Alexa set up right behind the microphone. So, hey, Mark, you got to go. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in, Mark. I really do. And I wish you could have. I wish Mel could have been had his stream up so you could have stopped in. But Mark, I always appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate. I haven't got to be on one. I haven't gone to one of your live streams for a while. I keep missing them for some reason. But anyways, it's always good having you on here, Mark. I appreciate it. I really do. And you have a good. What time is it? It's daytime. You're probably getting ready to go to work, or because I think you're in Sydney. I think. But anyways, it's always nice having you on board. And I'm just hanging around here until. Yes, you have. Uh, I I figured out how to do that actually. Uh, Steve was the first one because he'd been here on my very first live stream I did, and I see you're back. Uh, Legwork, I'm glad to see you're back. But yeah, I'm filling in for Mel until he can get here. Uh, uh, yeah, Legwork, you just missed Ozzy Mark. He was just on here, and uh, but Mel does such a good job. He's got. Uh, yeah, my scarf or my blanket keeps falling down around this, and this is an old ratty chair. We all make fun of uh, uh, everyday dad and those green chairs he had. Well, I've got one just like it and can't get rid of it. So, uh, anyways, there we go. I'm back, and I'll have this set up next time I do one of these. I hope. I just threw this together tonight, and then they are comfortable. This one is an old comfortable chair. It's one we picked up. It's actually an antique, but it's God, I don't even know where we got it. And my wife just had to have it because she likes chairs and ottomans, and this is one she had to have, and so we bought it a long time ago, and it's just needing to. Yeah, yeah, I was those green chairs that everyday dad has. It's you know. Actually, his actually looked pretty comfortable, but I would reupholster him to something besides green. This was the blanket that was on here. We keep this on here. This is actually my daughter-in-law's chair when she's here at Christmas time because she. Uh, I'm reading what Jim said. Uh, Hidden corner in separate rooms. Yeah, uh, we yeah, we actually have quite a few old chairs around because at one time that's what we did is we collected, you know, uh, well, at one time I actually ran an auction barn and we had a secondhand store, and well, that's a lot of work, you know. Like I think it was yesterday or today's, what did I want to do on my bucket list, and one of those was be an auctioneer, and I got to do that. I started out, we'd go to, because we ran a secondhand store, we'd go to auctions, and anyways, we go to, we'd go to, uh, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to auctions to pick up stuff, and, uh, we'd go to we went to one particular one all the time, and actually we'd known this guy. He used to be a neighbor of ours years before the first house we had here, and so we'd see him every week. And he was actually the landlord of the building that we leased for our secondhand store. It's called the White Elephant, and it was, we did pretty good with it. It's just my health wouldn't hold out, and I think that's about the time when Judy started, her health issues just were starting. And uh, but anyways, uh, so one night I told him, I said, I've always wanted, I'd been going to auctions since I was a kid. My dad, he was retired, and so he got into the flea market business, as they call it, or swap meets, whatever you call it in your part of the world, you know. And so he got into that, and he did. Uh, so we'd go like I said, I'd always wanted to learn to be an auctioneer, and so one night he says, "Well, we've got somebody who's wanted to be an auctioneer, and he wants to try it out, so we're going to let him get up here and try it out." And I got up there, and I did a terrible job. I mean, because I really didn't know what I was doing, but I did enough to get by. And I sold a couple items, and it's kind of red faced and embarrassed because I made a fool of myself. That was before I realized I didn't care if I made a fool of myself or not. And uh, maybe what will stay on? Did I miss something? Anyways, so that's he ended up. He was an auction. He had a course on. How long have you been standing in that corner? Yeah. Uh, anyways, that's a he gave me a bunch of lessons, and they started they he started training me, and I ended up becoming an auctioneer, and I actually ran an auction barn for a short period of time. And I can't do it now because I get too tongue tied anymore. But I did all right. We made money at it. That's all that counted. So, but that was on my bucket list. Scuba diving's next, and I think Steve, it was you that said that I needed to go ahead and try it. And if I ever get the chance, I probably will. Uh, Steve Carpenter, I mean, because there's two Steves on here. Yeah, I'm not the boy from Arkansas, but that's actually where I picked up the rhythm, because that's oh my God, who is that guy? 5 minutes ago I could have told you. Leroy Van Dyke is the guy that is the guy that did that song, and uh, he's actually in the Auctioneer Hall of Fame. He was actually an auctioneer. He wasn't just the singer. He was an actual auctioneer, and uh, but yeah, took me a while. Took me a second because I watched. But that was actually where I got the idea of how to call a bid. Uh, he's in the Auctioneer Hall of Fame. Uh, there's even if you can find it, you look it up, type in the auctioneer song, and there's a clip of him doing it. He was going to become an auctioneer, and he does the song there, and it was written about his cousin. It was a true story, based off a true story, and he wrote that while he was in the Air Force, or just before he went to the Air Force, but never did anything with it until he came out. And uh, but it's still my favorite song. I've heard other people do it, but I don't think anybody can beat him for doing it. But that's where I learned how to auction call. Was listening to that song because that was one of my favorite songs. I grew up loving country, and it wasn't until I've been an auctioneer, uh, and there is wow. you wrote that up there, Dennis, and yeah, Steve. I know it's I could do it, but when you wrote my Uncle Clarence did the best version of that song. I had an Uncle Clarence too that we lost in I think 2001, and when you said that, it's like I'll tell you what. The one thing I wanted to learn to do, my grandpa could do. He was from Kentucky, and he could yodel. And that's another thing I've tried my hand at, and I'm lousy at it. But uh, yeah, remember the wrenches are a privilege. Don't abuse them, and don't put me in a timeout either. Okay, although I probably deserve it. Yeah, I can become the grumpy auctioneer. Yeah, I can just hear it. All right, now, folks, what will you bid? Would you give me $5? Come on, you cheap buggers, give me $5. How about 10? Nah, you don't want to give 10. How about 750? All right, I got 750 now. Who'll give me 10? Yeah, I could probably do that and get by with it. You know, they say that's silly old fart. The grumpy auctioneer. Yeah, I could do that. But yeah, it's been. I think the last time I called an auction was in 1994. So that's been a few years back, and I'm definitely a lot slower at it. I can still do it on occasion, but I don't do it very often because my mind's not as quick. I had this one night. Here's a little interesting fact about auctioneering, being I'm killing time and you're stuck with me until Mel gets on to tell us something really important. Like the lady with the lady with the cheap perfume bids $1.25. You got well. You always start out on a certain set of numbers. You know, you look at an item like this this fine original can of Mountain Dew, and you start out with a number like who will give me 50 cents for this Mountain Dew? Do I hear 50 cents? Okay, how about 25? I've got 25 now. Will you give me 50? I got 50 now, 75. 75, would you give me $1? And you always start out in these increments, or 10 cents. 10 cents now, 20. Who at 20 now? Who will give me 30? And a 30 now, 40. And a 40 now, 50. I got 50 cents. And you keep going. But anyways, uh, one night, got up there, and you always start out on an even type number. Like, uh, you do $30 and then 35 or 32 and a half and then 35 and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I was getting on a roll. That's why I stopped because I get started. But anyways, you always start out with something because it's done in fives, tens, 20s. 5, 10, 20, 25. Different. You go like in those increments. So like what I meant to ask for one night was, I was thinking $32 and or $30 and 32.50, then 35. And I start out to bid. I said, all right, now who'll bid 33 and a half, 33 and a half. And the lady sitting next to me who writes the tickets snaps her head around, 33 and a half. And you just start to pull out your wallet. Yeah, well, yeah. Uh, but anyways, I started out at 33 and a half. And I don't, I should have started out at 32 and a half and then gone to 35. And the auctioneer, the owner of the place, he turns to me and says, and he's holding up the item, and he turns around and says, 33 and a half? Really? I said, yeah, 33 and a half. Now who'll give me 35? Somebody bid 33 and a half, and I didn't miss a beat and went right to 35 and then to 37 and a half, then to 40. But you never start out with an odd number like 33 and a half. And that became a habit with me. That was the hardest thing I ever had to break, was quit asking for 3.5. Nobody asks for $3.50 unless that's, you got $3 now, 3.5, 3.5 now, 4. And but that was one of those things that it was like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't even know what I was selling. There was one thing we sold this. We sold this. It was a professional studio camera. That it was a professional studio camera, and we had sold this thing 4 times because you had to hook it up to a VCR. This is, it wasn't. Uh, he bid. I'll bid 20 for the camera. Well, yeah. Well, and they kept. We sold that camera every week because they'd take it home and figure out they couldn't use it. They didn't know how, so they'd bring it back. And after about the fourth time, I just looked at Bailey, who was the owner of the auctioneer service. He was the head auctioneer, and I said, I'm not selling this again. I said, I've sold this thing 3 weeks, 4 weeks in a row. It keeps coming back. I said, you've made more than enough on commissions because every time, we'd sell it to somebody for $35, they'd buy it. Well, he'd give, $32 to the guy who sold it and then keep the rest for commission. And he did that like 4 weeks in a row. I said, you've made enough to pay for that camera 3 times. I'm not doing it. He says, okay, we'll put it back. Well, he sold it later, but I'd tell him, I said, now, I keep, yeah, I keep selling. Yeah, it's yeah, but it was an interesting part of my life, and he had the guy that we had been leasing our. He was the auctioneer. He had an auction barn here, and the guy. Uh, yeah, I believe it or not, I've had to be careful because I used to go to auctions. Uh, I used to go to auctions. I'd have to watch real close because I would end up bidding against myself, and if the auctioneer's a little unscrupulous, he'll say yep. But I learned a lot about the auction business that that ain't bad, Steve. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that's the thing. If you start something at a price too low, the first thing you're going to think is what's wrong with it. If you're going to give it this cheap, what's wrong with it? So you put it in. So you raise the price, put it back up for sale, and oh well, that's still a good deal, but uh, yeah, that's. I still wonder why is he selling it so cheap, and but yeah, but hopefully, and I haven't heard from Mel yet, but hopefully he's going to have his show come up here pretty soon. Let me check. Uh, let's see. I'm, well, if I can get this phone to work, it's not working. Oh, there we go. No, he's not. He's still not got his show up yet. So he said it'd be a little bit. So, guys, if you bear with me, he'll be on. Hopefully, you'll be able to. Uh, yeah, that would be a good reason, Steve, not to be riding a motorcycle is when you break your back or do that. You're doing a Jello show in late September. I think he has. He finally got out of the L.A. traffic. He said he was about 25 miles from the Flying J truck stop he was trying to get to. So he should be getting. And I told him, I said, well, I'll try and keep everybody entertained until you get your show ready. So uh, you found a great archive of Jello cookbooks on a university website. Cool. Yeah. Uh, yeah. If you guys got wrenches, because okay, I'm missing something here. let's see. That's a sharp man, Steve Mack. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. If you guys want to put up a link to uh, your uh, your Twitter account so you guys can stay in touch. I follow Jim on Twitter. Him and I have we have some interesting conversation, and we've talked on the phone. Matter of fact, several of you I have been able to talk with, and which I enjoy doing. Uh, yeah, every time I look at his channel, I think I got to go out and uh, uh, there you go. There's his Twitter account, guys. So uh, go follow him on Twitter if you would. Well, and Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, you can do that too. I have Facebook, but I kind of took a moratorium because uh, I like Facebook for keeping up with the family, but then I don't like Facebook because sometimes I'm keeping up with the family. You know, you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family, unfortunately. Let's see. You instant message me, Steve, or well, if you instant message me, and I didn't get back to you, I'll go back and check it because if I've missed it, uh, yeah, a long time back. Well, that's my bad. I apologize. I will respond next time you instant message me. Uh, Sometimes I get wrapped up in stuff, and depending on when it comes in, I've been trying to get better at following Twitter, and I didn't use Twitter for the longest time. But now that I think about it, I think I remember seeing something, and I thought I'd answered, but I may have answered somewhere else, or I may not have, and I probably didn't, and I apologize for that. And I mean that, guys. I would never purposely ignore you guys because I mean all you guys that are on here right now are the ones that have actually been big supporters of me. And when I say supporters, I don't mean in the that financial kind of thing. I mean you've been supporters of me because uh, uh, what was that? We're following each other. No, is Twitter shadow banning us? I don't think so. You know, I'll tell you what. I did run into a problem like the everyday dad because I had I was getting one of those magnets, which I got from him. Uh, Here a couple weeks ago, he needed my address, and I'm not gonna put my address over the open Twitter thing. So I wrote him. I said, I've tried sending you a message 3 or 4 times. It didn't come through. Uh, it could never been somebody talking about food. No. Uh, but I don't. Sometimes I don't know what's going on with Twitter. I don't understand it, and I'm barely keeping up with YouTube. Yeah, you. Uh, Looks like Bill the drone reviewer has something coming up. It just popped up, but uh, so yeah, some of you guys, I mean, yeah, Steve, you started supporting me between 20 and 25. So you guys, most of you guys that are on here right now are some of my earliest subscribers. And I really appreciate it. Uh, and that's what I mean. And Steve Carpenter, I like I said when what I was saying about that case. When I hit 200, I'll make an announcement on the case, or I'll make an announcement that I've hit 200. I'll have a live stream, and then we'll draw a number. We'll let uh, the lady in the background there, that mechanical lady, pick a random number because that's the easiest way I could think of doing it. And and whoever and I'll have one of you moderators keeping an eye on. And Even if you're a moderator, you'll still qualify uh, to be in the drawing if you need a case for Mavic Pro, because I thought that was just so generous of Steve Mack to do that. And but Droneaholic, welcome. Yeah, I'm kind of this is my second one today. I'm just kind of trying to keep it going until uh, Mel gets set up. He's tied up in traffic, and he's trying to. You bump off all the other mods so you can win. Alexa, give me $1 million.
Thing about the cloud is no pockets, no pocket, no wallet.
Oh, that was just terrible. Alexa, tell us a pun.
What's the coolest element in the periodic table? Brrr, helium.
Oh my God. Why can't you compete, Dennis? Yeah, Droneaholic, I'm glad you joined us tonight. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm following the live chats because it just stays up for a second uh, on my window here, and so I'm starting to look like a grumpy vlogger again. I got to shave. I haven't shaved in a couple of days. That's something else. One reason I didn't shave, you guys saw those pictures that I put up, and I was pretty scruffy looking, especially that one I did that I redid the pencil sketch thing on. And the problem was is we have water there on the property, and we have an outside. They're called a freeze faucet. Kind of you lift the lever on, and the water comes up. And anyways, and I had a hose hooked up, but We don't have the water plumbed into the house yet. That was one of the things I've still got to finish up, and I got to build a small subwall and then bring the pipes in and all that. So, anyways, so I uh, what I have to do is go out, fill up a jug, bring it in, put it on a pot, fire up we got a little 2 burner electric stove thing there, heat it up enough and so I was putting off shaving as long as I could and then I realized I didn't have a razor, and so I started looking around and I found this old uh, case that was in like a gig bag, or ditty bag is what we call them in the service. But anyway, just these little, you know, bags that you put your toiletries in. And it was an old one. And it was just an old 2 blade razor. And I honestly think it pulled half my whiskers out. I don't think it shaved me, it just pulled them out. Because that was the most painful shave. When I got home and I started unloading stuff, I found the bag that had my real good razor in it. And I could have been shaving every day with my good razor, but I didn't. I forgot where I put it because I threw everything together just so I could go out there and and we're probably going to go back out. Uh, I'm losing track here. Uh, let's see. The Scruffy Vlogger. Yeah, yeah, that picture I put up. But, anyways, is there any questions that anybody that would like to know about something besides drones? Because, all right, Steve Carpenter, I'm glad you stopped in. I know you would have liked to have got to see Mel. He got and he put out a video yesterday evening that he was going to be running late, and hopefully he will get on. If it doesn't look like he's going to make it, I'm sure that he'll let me know, and then we can all. But Steve Carpenter, always appreciate your comments. Always appreciate when you stop in on one of these, and I will make sure that I answer your Twitter's things next time. But anyways, hopefully I'll get to we'll catch up and uh, but I appreciate you stopping in. But have a good evening. Enjoy your supper. I still haven't figured out what I'm having for supper yet. This is one of them days I got a late start, so. But anyways, man, I've gone on. I didn't know one person. Taco Bell. Yeah, there you go. Mama Vlogger's doing pretty good. She's still not feeling well. It's just we're a matter of uh, yeah, it's 9:30 for me. Yeah, it's starting to. Yeah, it's running late for sure. So because I've been at it for an hour now, and uh, now it's 8:45 for me. But anyways, uh, but yeah, I've been going at this is my second one. I did an hour, uh, but yeah, Steve, thanks for stopping in. I'll catch up with you and answer it. How long have we had this chair? I don't honestly know. It seems like we've had it forever. But yeah, I know some of you guys are up kind of late, and if you have to go, if it gets too late and you can't go, maybe Mel can reschedule. Now, don't forget tomorrow night. This is Wednesday, right? Ken Heron, Thursday Night Live. Everybody remember to be there too, because uh, Ken Heron is a Thursday Night Live tomorrow. So don't forget that. So uh, yeah, remember Ken's stream there. It should send out a notification. You might sometimes I have to uncheck the bells and then recheck. Uh, but yeah, but don't forget and yeah, remember to hit that bell. That way you can till you get a grumpy bedtime story. What kind of bedtime story can I tell you that's a grumpy bedtime story? When I'm put on the spot like that, I can't think. I could read one from up here, but let's see. I'll tell you something that happened to me when I was a kid. You know, when you're when you're a kid and you're running around, you're playing in the schoolyards and stuff like that. You're playing tag, and I was in fourth grade, and there was this one. We were all playing tag, running around. Well, back in the day when I went to school, they still celebrated Arbor Day. That was the beginning of the tree huggers, I think. That's where all that's where the hippies started in the tree huggers. You know, they came up with this idea of Arbor Day. You know, plant a tree. Well, unfortunately, all the trees died out that we planted. Uh, Load drives. Yeah, yeah, has them. No, no man bun there. It may be white, it may be short, it might even be receding, but no man bun. No. But anyways, we were playing tag, and they planted the trees up close to the building, so there's holes that are about that deep, you know, and so yeah, barbecued sushi. It's like fried fish bait, you know. So I was running along. It was my turn. I was trying to keep from getting tagged, and I was running along, and I run up towards a school building, and I didn't see the hole where the old tree used to be. They hadn't filled it back in, and I made it across, but then my foot hung up on the other side of the hole. You know, I just kind of fell down into it, and I fell forward, and I went head first right into the brick school building, and I knocked myself out, to say the least. Well, I woke up right away, and I ended up, and you can still see right there. Now, that happened back in the 60s, okay? That thing swelled up like a baseball. I mean, it swelled up like a baseball. And I had that knot it took forever for it to go down, and it never completely, you know, like I said, you can still see the outline of where that knot was at. And I guess I fractured my skull. Uh, but that was a true story. I was never coordinated. I told you that, you know, I've told you guys the one about breaking my nose with the staple gun that was up on top of the paint can. That one was there was some. I was doing some trim pointing over here towards my dining area. We got a big picture window there, and we put it in there, and there's some trim work, and there were some nails I need to pull out, and they were like big 16 penny nails or something like that. Well, I'm getting on them, and I'm pulling on them, and I wasn't doing any good. So I decided to get down right in front of them. So here's the hammer, and I'm pulling. Now, mind you, I've got the hammer, and this is how I was sitting, and I'm putting all my weight into it. The nail head popped off. The hammer came back, caught me right between the eyes, just knocked me cold. So yeah, uh, yeah, ouch. Barbecue sushi here in the South ain't no way to do it. I don't think so. Yeah, I just, I, I just, yeah, yeah. I don't think I would. You know, I've had, you know, now Dennis, you're in Georgia, so I know I've had lowland boils, and oh, as a matter of fact, that's what we usually have for our Christmas dinner, because as we do a lowland boil, and oh my God, there's nothing better. I mean, we do the whole thing, cook it up in a pot, put the paper or tin foil out on the table, and put something underneath it, and just drain the pot, and then dump out all the good stuff out of it, and then just scoop it up in bowls and start eating. And man, that's our son used to live in Georgia, our youngest son, and he introduced us to it, and it was definitely something. It was definitely something worth. Uh, uh, it was something yeah, it is good. That's, like I said, that's what we had for, and we had it, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 years, I think, partly because I was doing all the cooking, because since with Judy's Parkinson's, she just can't hardly stand long enough to, and it's too unsteady for her to do that. So I started doing all the cooking, and then uh, I got to the point where I was like, you know, you boys can help. Uh, uh, you boys can start helping uh, do some of this. So So they came up with the idea of the lowland boar. Oh, shut up. You don't even know what you're barking at, dog. Pomeranians are. And there goes the big boy. He decided he must have been in the trash because he come from in the kitchen. And another nation heard from him. But, well, guys, let me do something real quick. And let me see if I can find out where Mel is at, or if, you know. Because I know he really wanted to do this. Uh, so he may not have made it there yet. So uh, put Mel on speakerphone. Yeah, I could do that. I just texted him. He can read his text, and he has it set up where he can talk back. And I figure if he set up, he'd let me know. But if he calls me, I'll put him on speakerphone so you guys can at least hear that he's still, you know. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna. He may have to postpone till next week because, yeah, it's coming up on 10 o'clock down out in that part of the country. Well, you're in the same time zone, aren't you, Dennis? And Dennis, I want to tell you, and whose show was it? Was it Ken's show? Yeah, you're on the same time zone. Which is one of the shows you were on, either Mel's or the Flying Eagle Traveling Hell. Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting, but I don't see that he's put anything up yet. So, uh, let's see. Nope, he's not got anything going yet. So, uh, so, but anyways, like I said, I'll fill in for a little bit longer than you checking Mel's channel. Okay, thanks, Steve. Yeah, let me check that too. Nope, nothing yet. Yeah, he does. He's still not. He's still not going. I haven't heard back from him. So he's probably still driving, or he's trying to park and get set up. But uh, oh yeah, yeah. I was just. It was on a Thursday Night Live show that you was on. That part of that show was, I found, just to be the most interesting part of that show that night. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't so much a question. I just wanted to compliment you on uh, uh, on that. You take wrench duties very seriously. Good. Yeah, you know, I wasn't even sure how to do that at first, but yeah, Dennis, what I wanted to say was, it was just, you presented things so well. You explained some things, uh, and it was just it was really a pleasure to see you on there. You know, and I think you might have been on, you were on Mel's show too. I think, weren't you, talking about the insurance thing? And I actually, uh, yeah, you're welcome, because I enjoy, and I always enjoy your videos. You guys are having fun with these wrenches, I can see. Uh, okay, he just told me he's working on it now, so I just got a text back from him. It ain't gonna show. Too much reflection. Anyways, he just said he's working on it now. If you guys can hang in there just a little bit longer, uh, he's probably trying to get parked and get set up and you're blinded. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you talked about. Yeah, Dennis, you have always impressed me, and uh, with your understanding of things. And there was something that you said. Yeah, well, you kind of have to. Kind of have. Yeah, I apologize for this light. I've got to set up a different lighting system. When I do this the next time, it probably won't be in the big green chair. It's going to be somewhere else. Uh, Either that, or I'm going to have to change the. I'm going to have to put a different type. If I shut the light out, I'll be sitting here in the dark. I've got another light I can turn on that would kind of balance it out. Okay, guys, Mel is live, so my job is done. It's not the light, it's the brilliance. Oh, well, thank you so much, Dennis, for saying that. You know, uh, you said that with so much believability uh, that I would almost think it was true. But it's we're going to go to Mel's here pretty quick because it just showed up. He is live now, so uh, I'm going to close this off now, and I'll see you over at 400 AGL. But anyways, thanks everybody for hanging in there. I know Mel appreciates. Thanks for showing up, and I appreciate it. I will catch you all later. Okay, let's go to Mel's. All right, see y'all there. I'm the Grumpy Vlogger. I'm out of here. Bye bye for now.